Hey, breaking news. We hearing that Young Dolph's son Trey has been making a lot of business moves behind the scenes for PRE. He's getting ready to pick him up for about 80 million right now. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and like this video, hit that subscribe button and share this. Let's get right into it, man. If y'all rocking with Young Dolph, go ahead and let me know in the comments section. Let me know where y'all from, who you rocking with. So they've been making a lot of moves. You already know that Trey following in Young Dolph's steps after Young Dolph left him with $12 million, the whole car collection, and the real estate portfolio in Memphis and Atlanta. And you know, once they worked out all the documents and the paperwork, everything that Mia J had to sign off on, everything from, you know, the whole other side with Daddy-O and PRE, they finally getting everything right into Trey's, because Young Dolph left everything for his son. And you know, that's why we got to give a shout out to him and props to him, because basically, you know, everybody wishes that they could leave their family, leave their kids something major, you know, when they gone and everything. And Dolph did that. And so now Trey was able to flip his $12 million empire into over $100 million in just 4 years, less than 4 years since the Dolph situation happened. But he's been, you know, pushing through and basically overcoming obstacle after obstacle, even though he don't have Dolph right there with him to show him the way, show him how, you know, he was doing it and everything like that. And so now they got Key Glock and everybody really like rooting on Trey so he could get PRE back. A lot of people thought that it was gonna be Key Glock or somebody else that was gonna come in and buy PRE. Maybe it was gonna be Mia J, maybe it was gonna be somebody else like that. But they made sure to, you know, give Dolph's son the opportunity to, as the first person who's gonna be able to get to pick that up, because all the Dolph's fans want Young Dolph kids and his son to be able to pick up after his legacy and like pick up where he left off. So if Dolph owned PRE and he was getting all the money from PRE and signing the artists and keeping that business going, then Trey, his son, should be able to do just that, you know, because Dolph was gonna give that to him anyways. And so now that Trey grow up a little bit, and it's been like 4 years and everything like that, he able to now think and really make them decisions like that. Do he want to sign this? Do we want to keep the revenue coming in and everything? So they've been really, you know, showing him. And Young Dolph, that's his prodigy. Like Dolph was really teaching Trey how to do the business and everything like that, because he knew one day he was going to be able to take over the family business and everything like that. So Key Glock, he's been going crazy too, trying to make sure that he keep going. He got the hits going right now, and every day Key Glock is putting a tribute to Dolph. He's calling Trey, FaceTiming him, letting him know if there's anything he needs, if there's anything Mia J needs, and he just keeping all the other Memphis rappers, keeping their morale high and making sure everybody heads is held high, because a lot of stuff has changed and happened since Dolph is gone. And so now they're looking at it like they're really trying to get everybody back together so they could go on the big tour. Grove Hero been doing his thing and everything, but now they need the whole PRE to come together. It's the summer now, and so they're gonna be doing the food trucks. They're going on big festivals, concerts every single night, every city, every night is gonna be a show. So it's gonna be big. It's gonna be a Dolph summer and all that. And so now it's interesting how, you know, the business dealings behind PRE, behind Mia J, the whole entire thing, because they sold the cars, they bought the footage and everything, and now that the trial is you know, they have figured out who to lock up and everything. But a lot of people still know that Cornelia Smith was probably the one that told out of every single person. And you know that with Straight Drop getting what he got, they definitely had all the information on him. This is why they're still working on how they gonna hit, you know, Dolph's real ops, the ones who really set the play up to put the money on his head and everything like that. They still coming for them, man. They already got a lot of people who's been talking and, you know, got their sentences reduced. A lot of the dudes that got locked up and in the trial and everything, they coming back, and they are trying to appeal and come with information on Yogotti and CMG. This is why Black Youngster and them ain't stayed out the limelight. You haven't seen Moneybaggyo and Yogotti together in months, almost a year. They ain't been in the same room. And so this is how you know they still dibbling and dabbling. There's still a lot of inner workings on, you know, the whole play of Dolph getting set up and allegedly a lot of people thinking that Yo Gotti has something to do with it because of their past beefs, because of the whole other times that they tried to hit up Dolph. And so now the feds and the authorities know exactly who they're going for. They taking their time with it because they building up a case. This is what the feds do. This is exactly what the feds are doing with Lil Durk and everything like that. They gonna let them build up the whole thing over a span of years, and then once they got them, and they basically ain't no way they getting out of it, this is when they come and raid the whole place and strap everybody up. When they do the raid on the last time they did the CMG raid, when they picked up the first round of people, they busted into Yo Gotti's studio to capture Black Youngster Cousin, the guy with the getaway car and everything. So they had locked up so many people in Memphis when they did the sweep that they didn't even have enough handcuffs. They had to use zip ties. If there's anybody that knows what they really talking about, is that when they come and do the RICO and they taking down a whole organization, a group of 18, 20 members, they gonna come and literally lock people up in zip ties, because that's how much people is involved in this whole organization that they didn't even have enough cuffs for them. And so this is exactly what's going to happen when they come in and they do the final numbers on who exactly was the one that planned, because the whole case got thrown in a whirlwind when Big Jook got hit up. When Big Jook got hit up, which is Yo Gotti's brother, that's his right-hand man. He was the enforcer in the streets. He was the guy calling the shots. So if Yo Gotti wanted somebody gone, or somebody from their team or circle of influence wanted something to happen, Big Jook was the one who found the way to make it happen. They had to pay Big Jook, and then he went and gave the cash and the bread to the dudes in the streets, the crash test dummies, who's like getting the job done for him, right? Who's doing all the dirty work. But they all got caught red-handed. They was on the footage and everything. Once TMZ obtained that footage and it got leaked, and we seen how the cashier didn't even tell Dolph to duck. Like, she seen the people coming and running up to the store. She seen the car pulling up. She saw the guys pull down the Pooh Shiesty mask and take the Draco out of the trunk and everything. If they had enough time to take the Draco out of the trunk, and the cashier was in line of sight, because the camera angle showed that her eyeballs was looking out the window. So if she had enough time to watch them take the Dracos out, put the mask down, and like look at the phone and make sure that was Dolph and the face masked up, she could have said something like, "Get down," or "Come with me to the other room, we got a duck," or something, or "It's a shooter right there, it's a hitter right there." So they really could have warned Dolph, man. And this is what got a lot of people upset. After everything, the footage came out in the trial, and people is doing time and serving seasons. It's like, man, they really could have saved him that day. If you really think about it, they could have just, the cashier, all they had to do was tell him to duck instead of running and fleeing for themselves, man. Because a lot of people these days, when something goes down, the first thing they do is pull their phone out to catch it on camera, instead of trying to help people get out the situation, help them get out of the danger's way and all this stuff. So, this is a sad situation. It should have never even happened. They should have at least told him to duck or get out the way. And this is why everybody's thinking, like, was they involved in on it? Did somebody tell them to drop Young Dolph location? Did they like know that this was gonna happen, and so they just tried to get out of the way, and they were just basically there as a prop to lure Dolph in to be standing there? And then when they seen the dudes running and pulling the Dracos out the trunk, they didn't tell Dolph that, so Dolph didn't see this coming. And so this is what got a lot of people still heated and still basically telling the whole thing about the cookie shop, and how they knew Yo Gotti. They had tried to work deals and ties with CMG, and this is why this whole thing backfired on Young Dolph, because he was trying to help them and help the community, but the whole time they was all had one foot in the game, one foot out the game, and was being influenced and being played by allegedly CMG, Yo Gotti, and everything, because they was trying to be the managers. Remember, the Cookie Girl's boyfriend was a rapper. And he was trying to get in with CMG. This is their way of being able to get put on and everything like that. That's what Big Drip was trying to tell him or sell him on. And then eventually, once Big Drip got taken out, it was like, okay, so it basically made it to where the buffer of, you know, they knew he was going to tell. So it gave him a buffer of a little bit more time to figure out how they was going to hide out and how they was going to do this while the trial was like really starting to break down. So let me know what y'all think about this. If y'all rocking with Dolph, put the Dolph emojis in the comments. I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace.